Welcome to Football or Soccer, the podcast with me, Sam Palmer, Tony Taafe, and we've got the Chelsea man for once in his life here.
You got a special guest in here.
Yeah, we do.
Guest.
Special guest.
And he turned up late.
Yeah.
And he turned up late.
I was on time today, to be fair.
And then started nattering away when he got here.
I was on time.
Come here in his
always.
new cardigan. Look at him. Like he's like,
Oh, look at that cardi.
Cardies
I
on.
like
I
it.
know, it's the old age, isn't it?
It's like Kanye West sitting next to me.
God forbid that dirty pig.
Oh, yeah. Probably the worst one to say to you. Tone, what a week.
What's happening?
The mighty Reds.
Do you know what,
Back
mate?
where they fucking belong. Down the old bottling factory.
It's like old Jason Cundy on TalkSport. Have you seen Liverpool?
Yeah, he's good, isn't he? He's fun. I used to hate that prick, but I actually think he's really funny.
Yeah,
now.
do you know what? Him and O'Hara together, they're just great entertainment. The pair of them.
Yeah.
The old sports bar.
O'Hara,
But you know what, though?
On,
As the game
has,
finished yesterday, boys, I thought that all this mocking we do of teams that don't win games, I think it's beneath us, and we should just move on.
No, do you know what? I'm going to start with, firstly, and I think even you're with this, Tone, as well. It was fantastic, and it's hard because it's against your team. And look, to be honest, you know when people say, "Oh, you're just bitter because you lost." Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Right. You pissed.
Why shouldn't you be? No one wants to lose a cup final. And to be fair, it was probably the first time, really, since the 95, 96, was it, when Man United beat you 1-0, that Liverpool
Oh, in the
never...
FA Cup,
That was the old
95,
Spice
I
Boys
think
soup
it
day.
was.
That was, wasn't it?
I would give a more recent example of when Liverpool last didn't turn up to a final, when Chelsea beat them 2-1 back in 2012 when we won the FA Cup.
No, I mean...
But very rarely
didn't-
should
we
Liverpool
didn't
not
turn up
turn
to the
up.
final
that
against
game
Real
when
Madrid either.
Say that again,
Cup
Tone?
final.
Which one?
I said we didn't turn up to the European Cup final against Real Madrid either. And we barely showed up
Yeah, that's
to
true.
the European Cup
Yeah,
final
but was that
against
the
Spurs.
one where the keeper dropped 2 in?
Yeah, Karius, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was a killer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He killed him that day.
And then
I mean, it wasn't just him, was it? But it didn't help.
And then Courtois in the next one just made save
Oh,
after
yeah,
save after
yeah,
save after
yeah.
save.
But no,
yeah,
you know
so
what? Fair
Liverpool,
play
they
to
didn't
Newcastle.
turn up, but weren't it great to see Newcastle
Yeah.
win it?
It was. Those fans were going.
See Shearer.
Yeah. And Ant and Deck were crying their eyes out.
It was
and
just beautiful. I messaged Kenny Shepherd, whose dad was obviously Freddie Shepherd, this morning. And I said, like, it's just so, I'm so pleased for you. I said, because I know how you feel, because I felt it in Prague.
I'm sure.
So they felt it. They will have been partying
all night.
all weekend, wouldn't they?
I can imagine.
It will be amazing.
They played really well.
I'm not going to get on the Newcastle bandwagon like every other person in the world seems to be doing right now, obviously. But if there was one team I'd be okay with losing to, and one cup I'd be okay with not winning, that would probably be the situation.
Bad week for Liverpool, though.
Yeah, terrible week.
Very bad week.
Not even a week.
Or maybe a
Terrible
bad couple
month,
of weeks.
I would say.
It hasn't been great for a little while, really. There's been a few results where you've kind of just got over the line, where he's had to change it at half time. I watched football this weekend. I watched again, and I've got to say, it was the most uninteresting week of football again, and I'm really, really concerned.
It sounds
where
like you
it's
need to
going
stop
now.
watching it then.
Do you know what it
keep
is?
saying this every week.
I know, and then do you know what? It's only out of habit I do now, but now, like I said this the other day, when would you have Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool Cup final in a day and be bored of what you saw? Like, it was so boring. That Arsenal Chelsea game, and in actual fact, I couldn't even tell you what happened in it because I had it on in the background. It was so boring.
It was another waste of a Sunday morning.
It really was.
I am just.
Saturday was exactly the same.
I'm so sick of Chelsea right now. I'm so sick of Robert Sane. I'm almost saying to myself that I cannot.
He hasn't
watch
been
Chelsea.
blasted for that goal, but
He hasn't been blasted, but he was
it
so
was
uncomfortable. He was
his
so
fault, wasn't
uncomfortable. He was so uncomfortable the whole game yet again. I fucking hate our manager so much. I would fire him today. I would
Maresca?
out.
Oh,
Get
no,
him
you're
out.
talking rubbish
No,
now, I think.
no, I'll tell you why I'm not. Because he has been found out, and he's like a Russell Martin. He's got one way of playing, and he's been found out. He's just
Like a
like we
who?
are. Say that again.
You said he's like a who?
He's like Russell. He's like one of those Russell Martin type guys where he's got one way of playing football. He's going to stick to it, and I just can't bear it. We're apart from that one Cucurella shot yesterday, we did nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
but even that Cucurella shot was only because
That's what I mean,
Reyes
because-
And
spilled it.
neither did Arsenal.
But they don't have any strikers. Like, I mean, Chelsea once again this season. We used to go away to the top six, and we used to hammer them. We'd beat City away. We'd always win at Old Trafford. We had like a 5-game winning run at the Emirates in a row. We would come to Anfield, and you win one, we'd win one, you'd win one, we'd win one. I have no expectations going into any top 6 game away from home at
But
all.
I think this is all teams. And do you know, I want to clarify this when I keep saying this, because it's like I'm having a dig at
because you're
Liverpool.
boring the fucking shit
No,
out of everybody.
no, because
every
it's
time
like
you
I'm having
say
a
it.
dig at Liverpool of saying it's been the worst year in the Premiership, right?
yeah,
That
it's
is
boring.
not a dig at Liverpool. I want to say that because I think Liverpool have been fantastic this year. Bit of a rock now. And to be honest with you, they're probably a little bit switched off from it because they're unchallenged.
They shouldn't
it's-
be though, but I actually agree with you. I think they are, but it's outrageous
It's
that
so
they seem to be. At least.
poor every game. Sidewards passing,
Mm-hmm.
pass out from the back. It's so. And then
But
this big thing
Liverpool,
about
you know,
corners
Liverpool don't
now
do
is
that.
like.
The thing for me that's killed football is VAR.
Do you know what? That was my next point.
VAR.
This week, right? That Atletico Madrid penalty is the most outrageous VAR decision there has ever been.
Yeah, in a shootout as well.
And you can only think, is that actually cheating to get Real Madrid into the next round? Because it's that ridiculous.
it was insane.
Like, I watched it 100 times. I can't conclusively say it hit his foot. But even if it did, it's to no advantage of the kicker in whatsoever. It's a if it happens, you usually would sky it or put it wide or put it in Skip's arms. But that is outrageous.
Have you seen there's a video going around as well of Messi hitting it twice?
There's loads of people have done
in
it.
the World Cup final in the shootout against France.
And
Oh,
that's what I
really?
mean,
Yeah.
It
There
happens.
is, yeah, he hits it off
'Cause
the
you
left
lose your
onto
foot
the
in it.
right. Yeah.
You lose your foot in it. It just happens. And I get what they're saying to the letter of the law. Because that rule
when,
is done
when
so
you
you
go
can't
to the
pass
letter
yourself.
of the
Yeah,
law,
correct.
it stops becoming entertainment when you go to the letter of the law. It
That
starts
cup final
becoming
yesterday,
a game of chess.
2 decisions.
Yeah.
The Newcastle goal, the one that was disallowed just before Isak scored.
Yeah.
I still don't know what it was for.
No,
they said
no,
the man was in front of
Bru- to
he
be
was-
fair,
he was
Bruno
blocking
was
his
direct-
vision. He
He
was
was
directly
directly in front of
and
him.
blocking
But then
his
it went
vision. He was.
across.
I know, but
That
he was.
wasn't right. So then the Chiesa one at the end,
Yeah,
right?
ridiculous.
Just when the game, Liverpool get a goal, it's extra time. Just when you want the old, it's going to go fever pitch. Let's get the old intensity going.
Yeah.
And then
What
we
the
sit there
fuck were
for
they
2
doing?
minutes.
It went
Yeah.
for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only had to look at it to see he was offside,
I know.
right? Onside, right? So you saw it within 30 seconds. He was onside.
Not even like.
Then they went back through the move, play after play after play, just to try and find something to disallow the goal.
Do you know what? The only thing I think VAR is good for is the offsides when the linesman has put on a few pounds and he can't keep up with play. But they don't even need VAR for that because they have this semi-automated
Automated.
offsides or whatever.
Yeah,
now.
which is coming.
Which I hate because like it shows like the tip of your elbows offside.
Yeah,
and it's just
that's
like,
silly.
it's-
That's daft. The offside rule's silly. It should be at least a whole foot needs to be in front of the.
But then
other person.
that's the
At
problem
least.
of where is the line.
I would
But
just
that's
get rid of VAR. Just bring it back
But
how
then
it
that's
is.
that's where, like, right, we're saying there, right? Even with semi-automated, we're not happy with it, right? So what we're saying is, football is not perfect, right? There is this grey area. We've
Yeah.
kind of worked that out now over
Yeah.
the last 5 years. So what I would say is the standard of refereeing and officiating
That's abysmal.
has gone. I think it's gone backwards 10
Yeah,
years.
it's
like,
abysmal.
because of VAR, because I think
Abysmal.
they don't know what to do. Oh, we can just be easy and let VAR decide.
Or
it.
maybe we're just
Correct.
Creole, you know.
I don't know. I don't know
all-
anyone
what
that
I will
likes
say-
it.
silly
Even
fellas
big people that
who
were
don't
advocates for it.
embrace
Even
technology.
Lineker was saying he
Yeah.
was a massive advocate of it, and he said, "I got it wrong." I heard him
But
this
where
week.
for me, where it changes the game is when you have VAR as a referee now. Back in the day, before VAR, the referee was the number one man on the pitch.
Yeah.
What he said went. Nowadays, the referee is just a spokesperson for the cameras behind the scenes at Stockley Park.
They even did the microphone yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah.
Where they were explaining, and I was
Like-
like, "This is weird."
But
This
you know
is
what
bananas.
it is? It's like you look at something like rugby, where the referee has complete respect of everybody on the pitch.
Yeah.
They stop. They're constantly talking. They're interjecting. Like their video referee system for me is how, if you're going to do it, that's how it should be run. Because they just get.
But rugby and American football is a stop-start game.
It is. But,
Football is
Yeah.
not.
I know, but
And
that's,
that is the
Yeah,
difference.
that's true.
And now we've got to this point. Like I'm really worried about football. I really
So am
am.
I.
Like,
Well, it's become more of a stop-start game, hasn't it?
yeah.
and it
Because of
has,
stuff
and
that
I think
happened with
the
the
problem,
VAR
and
checks
we'll
that
go
take
back
10
to our
minutes.
first episode. It's soccer now. It's been commercialized. There's the new training tops every week. There is zero personality in the game
No, nothing.
whatsoever. There's zero flair. There's zero, like it's just boring is an understatement. And then I'm going to take us to I'm stealing this
Sam,
off
this is
Patrice.
not going to do good for our listeners, mate. I mean, we're basically saying don't ever watch football again because it's shit.
No,
now.
but I think
We're just being
it
realistic
needs to
with it.
change.
We're just being realistic with
because
it.
it is so boring. And
Yeah.
do you know what I saw? Neville say it this week about, and they wanted to speak to Cara about it. I saw it yesterday on the overlap last night about Liverpool, and Rooney said it as well. At Anfield the other night against PSG, they said the atmosphere wasn't that great. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, Liverpool is probably the most known in the world, or especially in England, for European nights at Anfield. And then Neville said, I wonder if it is because of these more corporate tickets and fans who aren't really fans. Like, for example, we was with a couple of Americans yesterday at my kids' football. They're going over to watch games this week. They're going to QPR, then they're going to City, then they're going somewhere else. Good on them. Like I'm an advocate of that. It's hard to say that, but the problem is the prices are getting higher.
Yeah.
These are the people we're getting more tourists in, and
I don't
is it
think that's what
diluting
it
the
is.
fan base?
I don't think that's what it is because 95% of the stadium is probably still the same people. Who
Let me
used to
just
go-
interject there, Tony. Here's a question for you. Corporate seats at Chelsea last week for a Europa Conference League.
Yeah.
Against Copenhagen,
What, that Mickey Mouse Cup? Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
the Dog and Duck Europa League Cup. Yeah.
Stupid.
How much? So my pal who's got 2 seats in the corporates, he didn't go. How much do you think they wanted to charge for those seats?
Well, each seat,
Each seat.
£780.
Not each, but total. Correct. £700 for 2 corporate seats to go and see the Dog and Duck Cup.
Well, West Ham Palace.
I mean,
Who's
for
gonna-
what
West
you get for
Ham,
the corporate
At West
seats at
Ham
Chelsea,
Palace
though.
league
Yeah,
game over
yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
I could have bought a ticket. It was £500 a ticket.
It's a disgrace.
So it would have cost me two and a half grand to take the kids.
It's just that's what I'm saying. It's just a disgrace. The average man, like who's
Yeah, that is a
spend that?
corporate. But yes, that is a corporate
Yeah.
ticket. You don't have to buy a corporate
But
ticket.
even still, the money that they're now charging you to come into these to come and watch this dross, like if that was a-
Especially when the Premier League earns that much money.
If that was Champions League,
Yeah.
you might pay it. It's a different story. Like, would I pay $350 to see Chelsea play PSG in the last 16 game? Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Am I going to pay that in the Dog and Duck Cup? Absolutely
Listen,
not.
I'll pay it for West Ham. So like, my final ticket for West Ham was $2,000.
I'm sure it
that I'll
was.
pay. And I'll pay that every day of the week. But
100% you would.
unfortunately, finals, it goes to
Yeah.
people with the season tickets. I don't live there, so I don't get the points. So I have to get in line or
course.
pay over the odds. I'm okay with that. The problem is, I think with this dilution of fans, but also dilution of product, which we're told the Premier League, and we say it, is the best league in the world, right? Is it?
Not this year. It's not Spain. Is.
Yeah, it is. It is. What are you talking
is
about?
it?
Why,
Did you
why
boys
not?
see? Did you boys see? If you boys, I mean, like we're comparing how non-exciting
better?
England is right now.
Which
I don't
league
know,
is
so-
better?
I will tell you what. I'll tell you what the most exciting league this season is the Spanish league.
The top
What's
three.
the
Because you got the
best
top.
league, though?
You got
in
but it's the
terms of
I
quality.
didn't say it's the best. I said it's the
Right,
most exciting.
okay, well then
Exactly.
let's just go through, right?
said it's the most
Here, I'm
exciting.
stealing something off Patrice Evra.
Yeah.
I saw it on a podcast this week.
Yeah.
Because he was talking about the same how
Yeah.
dog shit football is now. But he was saying there are no world-class, very, very few world-class players or exciting players in the Premier League now compared to like yesteryear. Right, and I went through it and I thought,
All right,
right,
but
who are the
compare it
big
to
names?
another league, though.
What?
Compare it to another league rather than
All right,
comparing
let's
it
do
to
it. Okay.
when nobody was
Right,
alive.
let's go through, right. So who's the big players, right? I would say Salah.
He's
Yeah.
33
Haaland.
now.
Yeah. Haaland. Now where are you going?
Cole Palmer,
Alisson.
maybe.
No,
Alisson,
don't
come
rubbish,
on,
You've got the
Robbie.
best goalkeeper and
People
the best
don't get
centre
off their
half in the
seat for a
world.
goalkeeper. Let's
Listen,
let
No
okay,
one gives
and it's
a
not
even-
Virgil
all right,
van Dijk,
okay.
but
So
Alisson.
listen, before you both,
they're so
before you
deluded.
both,
They don't know anything
before you
outside of
both
Liverpool,
wet
do
your
they?
pants, before you both wet your pants,
Oh,
even if it's
Alisson.
Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the
Yeah,
world.
but
No,
he's
no, no,
talking- But that
right,
wasn't
now,
it.
right.
But he's not exciting. People don't wake up on a Saturday
Who are
morning
you
and be like,
to
I
pay
can't
your
wait.
money
Okay,
to go and
but that's
see
not what
Alisson?
we were saying, though, was it?
No,
We
no,
were
that's what I'm
what's
saying,
the
right?
best players
Give you-
in the world.
No. I'm saying, right? Not best players in the world, right?
You would
Not
Okay,
the
what
best
are you
players in the
saying?
world now. Who would you pay your money of all their teams to go and see, right?
would-
Like you as a fan.
You would
Salah,
pay
I
De-
agree,
De Bruyne
100%.
maybe, and back in the not this
Not
season.
not
no.
see this season, right?
But
So
we've
naturally
completely
come to
changed
two.
the subject. We've just completely changed the subject. We were
Okay.
talking about what's the best team in the world to who will you go pay your money to watch?
No,
Nobody
sorry,
goes
then
pay
I
the money to
misphrased
watch
it
a
for you, right?
goalkeeper.
I'm misphrasing it for you, right? I'm saying the players that get you off your seat. Now, here was the whatever's thing, and we'll take it to the
Okay,
next
Messi.
league.
No,
No.
I would
You
go and
shut
watch
up
him.
so I can just finish. Because then you'll understand it. Because you're the one that's not getting it. We're getting it, and you're not. In yesteryear, go through the teams. Right.
What's
Gerrard.
yesteryear?
Yeah.
From the beginning of all time?
No. Just go through like
Say
an
10
era
10
of the
years.
Premiership.
10 years.
When you had Henry at Arsenal, you had Di
20
Canio
years
at
ago
West
now.
Ham, you had Matt Letizia. Like, I'm just giving you examples, right?
Okay,
of
so
people.
what's your point, though? What's your point?
That we haven't even got these
The
players.
standards dropped. Is
The
point.
standards have dropped so far, and now go through La
But
Liga,
that's not what
right?
we were talking about, boys. We were talking about what is the best league.
I
in the
was,
world.
but no, I was, and then this was a side note that I went on to.
Oh, okay,
right?
so
but
you
now,
you just changed the
if you
subject
go,
without letting me know.
if you go then to La Liga now for better players that get you off your seat, Mbappe, Vinicius,
Rodrigo,
Lewandowski,
Lamau.
Rodrigo.
Yeah.
Who's the other one that used to be at Leeds?
Rafinha.
Rafinha,
Okay,
Bellingham,
So are we talking
Griezmann,
about what league?
Alvarez.
Yeah.
Right, there's
Okay,
9
listen,
in La
I don't
Liga.
disagree with that, but what I'm saying is, are we talking about which league has the best players, or are we talking about which league is the best?
No, who?
that's two
well, we're
different
saying
things.
this year.
It
I'm
is.
saying we just say the Premier League's the best, right?
Yeah.
What?
But the
right?
reason why we say that is because it's the most competitive. So, team,
Is it though? Look at this year. Look at this year. The 3 that have come up are going to go down with the least points
Yeah.
ever.
This hasn't
true,
been
Complete
that's fair
pathetic.
enough. Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
So that
and
is
I agree.
completely
That's
pathetic.
a
But
shame.
this season could just be an anomaly. Like, traditionally speaking, in history, the Premiership is always very competitive. You get the odd season where, and ironically, it's actually pretty much funny enough where Liverpool have won it. Like, when you look back to when they won it in COVID, they were 50 points clear after like 28 games.
Weird,
or
isn't
whatever
it? Like
was.
they've done it on the 2 years.
Yeah, but like that's no discredit to Liverpool.
No, it's
because
not
it just
at all.
because it
Not
just-
at all.
And don't think I'm shitting on Liverpool here, Tone. And what I'm saying is Liverpool turned up when nobody else
Yeah.
did. So credit to them for turning up. It just so happens that the 2 times that you would have won your Premier League titles, your biggest rivals were
yourself.
severely under par, rather than it being a knife edge race like how we saw in the Klopp days, where you would lose on goal difference or you'd lose on by 1 point or
Yeah.
you'd lose with City coming from 2-0.
But what's that got to do with this year, though?
It's not like that. That's been very different to how this year has been, is what I'm saying. Like I'm saying, in the traditional seasons where you have had a traditional title race, like what we're seeing in Spain this year and Italy this year, we're not seeing it in France because PSG are 25 points clear. It's kind of the same in England. We're not seeing.
So what you're
that-
saying is the last 2 times we won the league, it's been at a canter.
That's what I'm saying to you. But it's been because your
agree-
biggest
well,
rivals haven't turned up.
That's not disagreeable, is it? It's impossible to disagree with that.
No, because there's no,
Yeah.
but there's also been no rivals.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
You can't say
I'm not
there's
saying
no
No,
rivals, as though
but
there's
Liverpool
no
can't
other
do anything
teams.
about that.
Yeah, I'm not knocking you, Tone. That's what I'm saying. Like, I
No,
understand.
I
I'm
know
not,
you're not. I know.
I'm
but
just saying it just so
what's the
happened. Like, if
point?
you look at the seasons that Chelsea have won, when Chelsea won the league last in 2017, 2018, we didn't
Yeah.
have that many rivals. Our rival that year was Tottenham.
Right.
So that's
and,
why.
and nobody cares about what the rivals were. People
No,
only care
I'm
about
actually
the
worried.
They don't when you look back on it in history, but when you're looking at it throughout the season, and for people like us who have watched the Premiership
Every year,
since the
yeah.
start of it, you can say without shitting on a team, like that season was a bit more competitive than this year, or
Yeah, I mean, well,
so on and so forth.
that's
So like,
you
not
can't
every year
disagree
the
with that.
The
You're
Premiership
right.
can't serve up unbelievable drama and excitement every year. It just can't. It's just physically impossible for those
Yeah.
teams to maintain those levels. But what Liverpool have done, and fair play to Liverpool, is that when their biggest rivals around them are either rebuilding, going through a shit season, got massive injuries, and are just so inconsistent, Liverpool step up and they rise to the top. So fair play to Liverpool for it. But when comparing it to...
But we're not. Let's go back to what we were actually talking about. Because
Yeah,
what we were talking about was the Premier League being the best league in the world, and I still think it
I'm
is.
saying, traditionally speaking, it is, but this year it has not served us up the drama that made it so good, and that's fair.
And-
That's
and
fair
do
enough.
you know what I
we're a
would say?
Brighton. We're a Brighton in the league right
Who
now.
cares about them? Who cares about? I'm
No,
talking,
no. We're talking about the
Mate,
Premier League.
okay, let me ask you this question, Tony. Would you
but
rather see good seasons
Sam,
from like a Forest or a Brighton?
Because I'm saying this to make a point. It's not. I don't. You don't even know where I'm going with it. So we're a Brighton in the league right now.
I'll
I know
tell you
Sam
right
was
now.
looking.
Sixth,
Seventh.
6 or 7?
Seventh.
They
Joint
would be,
6 with
They would
Newcastle.
be in the top 4 in any league other than La Liga. They would be.
No.
They would be.
Maybe
They
not
would
Italy.
be.
I don't think they'd be in Italy. They're not better than AC
They
Milan,
would.
Inter Milan, Atalanta, Juventus.
Roma.
They're better than Atalanta this year.
What are you
Last
talking
year,
about?
Atalanta were
Atalanta is
amazing.
like 3 points off top.
Yeah, and they
No,
just
I-
won.
They're in
the-
they were in the Champions League.
And they
But
won the
my
Europa
point
last year.
is, in the Premier League, there are
Yeah, but you've got to also
10
remember
to
it's
12
skewed when
really
you say
strong
that.
teams. In other leagues, there are not.
Yeah, it's skewed. It's skewed when you say that though, because we obviously get much more money than them other leagues.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but who cares? Okay, so now you're just putting caveats on it.
No,
then.
but that's why we can't. You can't compare
Okay, well then let's not compare. And let's
because if
move
you
on to a
look at
different
what
subject.
Brighton receive a year compared to Atalanta,
Yeah.
it would be. It's not
Okay,
even
but-
conceivable.
Well, did you see
but
about
now you're saying
little
but like
little interjection?
Brighton's
Did you
weather is
see,
better than the weather in Atalanta. Like it's not. It doesn't really matter, does it? If
well,
we're
it
not
does
gonna
if you compare
let's not
them,
compare.
saying that they're better than
Yeah.
Atalanta.
Did you see Tony Bloom's horse at Cheltenham
Yeah,
this week?
won, didn't it?
100-1. It fucking won.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Yeah.
He don't
No,
stop
no,
winning,
I
does he?
didn't.
No,
No.
he was sat there with the biggest smile on his face at that. Who did they play this weekend? Who did they draw 2-2? City.
City.
He was sat in the Etihad box with the biggest grin on his face, and then they were like, "Yeah, he had a horse this week." that won
Brighton are only 2
100-1.
points off
Probably,
you in
probably had
fourth.
£1 million in his arse pocket from it.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Good on him.
Forest are only 4
they're
points
the
behind
best
Arsenal,
run club in
I know.
the country, by the way.
The no, I'd say I think when I look at the Premier League this year, I think it's been dreadful. I find very few exciting games. Very few. I think the only ones that I've
Especially for
actually
our
really
own
seen
team, especially for
has
our own
been
teams as
Liverpool.
well, yeah.
In the last few weeks have served up some great games. Other than that, as I say, the 3 that came up are probably the worst, three
yeah.
in Premiership history. And Leicester won that league at a canter last year,
know
which
they
is
did.
even weirder.
With Maresca, who
Yeah. And then you just look through the league and it's so, like, obviously Manchester United, Spurs, Everton, West Ham, all below 12.
They lost their 15th game of the season yesterday, Spurs.
Yeah.
How mad is that?
I
15.
couldn't believe they just keep getting beat.
It's crazy.
Because
Over and over again.
they're going all out for Europa now, though.
Yeah.
And
But they're 5
they
games
could
away
be
from
in
winning it.
them clowns could be in Champions League next year. And that's what actually makes you laugh. But then I think the managers are more poor now. You look at the management style.
Yeah.
It's all this, like what you're saying, Maresca, one style, one trick ponies. Got to play this stupid sideways ball. We're teaching the same to kids. It's all the same. I am really worried about it. And is this just going to be a blip this year? Or what have we got coming this summer to tire the players out again? Club World Cup.
Club World Cup.
So that's another thing. Year after?
World Cup.
World Cup. Then 2 years after that, be Euros again.
Yeah.
So your players are not getting the breaks. The games now are 99 minutes long. There are more
100
games
minutes.
Yeah.
in the Champions League. Do we think the quality will go back to better, or do we think it will get increasingly worse? That's my worry.
Yeah, I can't see it getting.
I wouldn't care if it's a one blip year of like it's been pretty poor, but I think football on its whole is going to get worse and worse and worse because we're just asking. It's eaten itself now. They've got so greedy.
It's also
I
the
think
money in
that's
it.
right. I think it's eating itself. I think that's absolutely correct. Yeah.
And it's sad that we're
Yeah.
now at this point, there's enough money.
Of course there is.
I think you've got to say at some point, enough's enough.
Yeah.
And
But you know what? You say there's enough money, and there is enough money, obviously, but most clubs don't make money, do they?
no, and maybe the
because-
clubs need to get together and actually be unified and say, right, wage caps now,
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
And look,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
here to say the players who provide the entertainment shouldn't be paid because I think they're the ones who provide it, so
Well,
they should be
without
paid
them-
the most.
Without them and the fans, then there's nothing, is there?
I actually watched the Jim Ratcliffe interview.
So did I.
It was good.
We'll go on to that next.
With
if you want.
Neville?
Have you got a restart, Tone?
No, I've already done it.
Okay, right. So we can keep going on. So that
Yeah.
Man United obviously announced this week after being told that they're absolutely poor as anything and haven't got any money.
They
The
were gonna
next
run out
day,
of money by
they
November.
announce the biggest stadium
In
in
history.
England.
Yeah.
But they ain't got the money to
Actually,
do it.
I
So
think
then they're
in
going to need some
anywhere.
help
They
to
want,
do it.
They want government grants for it, don't they?
I've got to be honest with you. I think it's an absolute fucking piss take.
That's what Wrexham did, didn't they? With one of
Of
their
course it's
funds.
a
They wrote
piss
to the
take.
government.
It's an absolute piss take, right?
Did
Why
Wrexham
on
get
earth
government
Manchester
grants?
United have got a 75,000 seater stadium? Still the biggest bar Wembley, right? Okay. So it's still the biggest. Why don't they just redevelop it? Like, why don't they, why haven't they done any work to it? Because they've had the money.
It's falling apart, isn't it? It's like the roof's coming down and like.
Yeah, they've just let it go to complete rack and ruin. But they could have. Their stadium's iconic as well. You don't need a 100,000 seater stadium.
That looks like a
They-
circus.
I
as
don't
well.
even think they would be able to fill that every week if
Oh,
they
they
keep
would.
playing. No,
They
if
would,
keep
because
playing
what
the
would
way
happen,
they are
Tone?
now,
What would happen, Tone? The foreigners will come. That's what it'll be. Come
but
out
not,
for the day out.
Not if they keep playing the way they are now, though. There
I
will
don't know.
come a
I think the
time when
Premier
it'll
League. I
drop
think
off.
when you like, as you say, the Americans coming over, the Spanish, that anyone coming over, they want to get a game in that stadium in a new regenerated area. I get it. It'd be great for Manchester. But I think it's an absolute piss take.
It is. It's a liberty.
It's a piece take.
Because
Absolutely it is,
why
yeah.
did Spurs not get a government grant to put theirs in the area?
Spurs got very cheap money. To be fair, they may as well have got a government grant for what they borrowed, because they borrowed the money just before COVID, didn't they? Or during? Was it during?
Yeah, but they
COVID?
still borrowed it.
Yeah, I know, but it was for very.
But I know West Ham got a free stadium. So I'm not. I shouldn't be digging out here.
Mr. Council House over
That
there.
was the best.
No,
that was the best in of all time.
Without a doubt. But it was, to be fair, it actually made sense that someone took it. Otherwise, it's sitting empty.
Yeah.
Because they built this big stadium. At least someone actually used it. Like, whether it was us or Spurs or anyone took it, it was actually,
Yeah.
you'd rather that than someone, it just sitting there. Like the Etihad with thingy. But to go and build and spend like 2 billion on a stadium, which will then run over to like 8 billion or something.
No, United it will, yeah.
It was outrageous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I
It is
looked. I think that
outrageous.
Jim Radcliffe. I think he got away with it. I think they poor old billionaires that I thought they were.
To be fair, he did admit that they have made a lot of cock-ups. And he said that they've got things wrong and but you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know what they got wrong. Like most fans could have told you, don't give Ten Hag a new contract.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Anyone with a brain.
What a
could have told you.
bizarre.
Don't bring in a
what
sporting
bizarre
director and then
decision.
sack him straight away.
Like just crazy. Absolute
Yeah.
craziness. And then just like, did you hear on it? He was saying as well that if United carried on the way that they were, they would have run out of money at the end of this year.
Yeah, but
By November.
see, I saw Simon Jordan talk about that. He said that is the biggest bullshit bit of propaganda he's ever heard. He said about saying, well, we still owe for Anthony, we still owe for this. He said every single Premier League club still owes.
Yeah.
He said
Yeah,
no
'cause
one
didn't they
buys
say-
anyone up front. He said, so that sounds great that we're still playing for these and make the players a
Yeah.
bit of a scapegoat. He said he's very clever at what he's trying to do there. He said, but it's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever
Didn't he
heard.
say that without signing anybody this summer, they're still
85
going
mil.
to pay 85 or
85
89
Yeah.
million, whatever it was. And Simon Jordan, because I heard exactly the same thing, was like, well, you would have known that, and every other club is still in the same position. So I think what he's actually doing is teeing United fans up for a dry summer of signings.
Yeah, so do I.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure he is. Even
Yeah.
though they're supposed to.
He's teeing it up without a doubt.
Because
I
they
don't
also
actually-
can't fire the tea lady and then go spend 100 million on a new forward, which they need, or a new centre half, which they need, or
It's disgraceful
right
where
and
that
left
club's gone,
wing
man.
back,
It
which
is
they
mad,
need
isn't
both.
it?
And then
I think Astri could go in there and do a better job at Manchester United.
without
at the
doubt.
minute. Like, I think that's how
Without-
badly it's run at the minute.
It's
I think
it's poor, but
it's really
yeah.
poor. But so there wasn't like much other than that going on at the weekend, was there? Forest won again against Ipswich.
Yeah.
Every single team that plays them,
Apart from
other than Spurs
and Chelsea.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
get a result there. West
we're
Ham
the
were
only
fucking
team-
awful again.
Chelsea, the only team that Ipswich have beaten at home this year.
Wow.
It's just. That's what I'm saying. That's just why I can't bear our
But
manager.
you would
and I
sack
can't-
him, though, Sam.
I would, yeah.
I
can't bear
and
him.
replace him with who?
But
though?
but let me tell you why I would sack him. Because the guy cannot tell a shit footballer if it's smashed him in the fucking mouth.
Like who?
Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, but he hasn't got anyone
But-
else to replace him.
He has. He's got Petrovic and he got Kepa. He sent them both out on
Kepa's-
loan.
Yeah,
He's still
Pepper.
shit.
He
Don't
hasn't
get me wrong,
done it.
he's still shit, but I'd still take him over Sanchez.
Probably, but they're already on
There's no-
loans. They
there's-
were on loans.
But so what? But that's what I'm saying. He came
you
in.
can't just call them back.
Yeah, you can. You could have called them both back in January.
No, they might not have had clauses to.
Petrovic did.
Oh, he did.
And I'm sure there's no. They can't have been that stupid where they wouldn't have put one in Kepa's contract. What if Sanchez and our new one had got injured? But that's for me.
What
like,
do you
the
think
guy.
about Enzo, Sam?
Say that again.
Enzo.
Fernandez. He's all right, isn't he?
He's the Argentinian Pulisic. He's great for 3 games, then goes missing for 10.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
all right, isn't he? He's not an £100 million player.
That's what I'm saying. So it's
Same
just
as
like,
Caicedo.
no, but
Everyone
it's,
was
that-
raving about
there was
him
that
earlier in the
chance he
season.
had.
he is good. He is good, Kais. I do like Caicedo, but the thing for me,
But not
with
an
Mar-
£100 million
No,
player.
the thing for me with Maresca
No.
is he just like, as I said, it's whether it's the goalkeeper or whether it's like getting rid of Trevor Chalobah and keeping Badiashile and Disasi, who are now Disasi's now at Villa because he knew how shit he was, and Badiashile can't get a game, and it's like I don't agree with this playing Reece James in midfield. Like you've got one of the best fullbacks on the planet on his day when he's fit, and you're playing him in a 6. Like what is the guy doing? He keeps
Especially when
persisting
you've
with
got about
Nicholas.
16 million sixes in the
Do
team.
you know what? Like that's what
Got about 300
it's
million
just
of them.
crazy. And, you know, and the other thing as well is just like you just look at just like all just buying it winger after winger after winger.
But
and
is
like-
that Maresca or is that the club?
Well, I'm sure Maresca still has the final say so.
I don't think they
he
do.
must.
One,
do.
do you know who I got it? Well, it was funny. I remember when we were doing the podcast way earlier in the season. I was banging on about Jadon Sancho. United can have him back now. He has been such shit. He had 10 amazing games at the start where he got like 6 assists and 2 goals, and he's done nothing since.
Actually, that's a good segue in.
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel's first England squad. Baffling, to say the least. But I saw Merce.
Yeah,
actually,
I saw
do you
Merce
see it?
defending Henderson. Yeah,
What they
Basically,
said,
what he
doesn't have the
said, he
time,
got a
doesn't have the time.
2-year contract,
18
Tuchel.
months. Yeah,
So he has not got the time to look at the plans.
blood the youngsters,
And he's
all
got to
that.
go for it, and that's it. But even that said, what on earth is Jordan Henderson? Dan Burn, I don't disagree with.
No.
I'm not against that one. Jordan Henderson is not even playing every week.
No,
at
played
Ajax.
two out of the last
he's
10.
Ajax captain, isn't he?
Somehow, but he's not playing
Yeah,
every
they're
week.
they're not playing him. He had a fallout with the management.
So
Really?
he's now there. So I understand bringing him in for actual leadership qualities.
Yeah.
Like if you feel that, which I don't know where Tuchel's found this out because, and to be fair to him, if Gareth Southgate had done this, everyone would be saying, "Get this prick out."
Southgate did
town."
do it.
No,
Southgate
that's
did
what I
do
mean.
it.
And everyone, it really cost him his job because he would have liked to take him to the last. Did he take him to the last tournament?
No.
No, but he would have.
But he
I think he would
included
have
him in
liked
the
to.
squad
yeah.
prior, though, I think.
Yeah.
And people were saying why, and it was because of he's good to have around the place type of thing.
And that's what Tuchel's kind of
But that's the
said.
same with Rashford as well. It's like he's called up Rashford after 4 good games for Aston Villa. It's like,
Yeah.
I just don't
But
get it.
I couldn't even imagine Rashford being good to have around the place.
No.
I can imagine
Like the
just
fact that they
looking
didn't
at him
call up
being
any
like
of the
maybe
Forest boys is
depressing me.
embarrassing. Like,
He's out of order.
No
Morgan
Hudson-
Gibbs White was.
well, he's in now because Palmer dropped out.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, Morgan Gibbs White is now in, but Hudson Odoi's not. Ola Aina's Ola Aina, I think. Does he play for it? No.
Yeah, Forest, yeah.
But is he English or is he Nigerian? I think he plays for one of the two. I think. I know he played
I
for the
don't know.
21s, but yeah, I mean, just like
Good player though. Him.
yeah, but leaving out people like Hudson Odoi, like he used to play for Tuchel at Chelsea as well.
I know.
Which
That's
it's strange. It was some strange.
I think
calls
there's some
there.
very strange decisions
I
there.
don't think you need 4 goalkeepers either. I don't know. Like I don't.
Why
get
bother
that.
taking 4 goalkeepers?
Like, it's just crazy.
Just take
But
2.
you know what, though?
Or 3 at
like,
most.
3, yeah, in case.
In terms of how many games has he got probably before the World Cup? He's probably got it's what
10,
it's
12, I
It's
suppose.
next
I don't even
year,
know if
isn't
it's
it?
that
So he's
many.
probably
No,
got
it
10
might not.
games.
It'll
Maybe.
be. I mean, it'll be any
Now
friendlies
now
that-
is the time to make the wrong decisions for him. You know, now is the time for Tuchel to start
are we
going
playing
a
in
little
the
bit left
next-
field.
I don't know who we got next.
No, neither do I. But
That's
I
how
think
much we give a shit about England.
Yeah.
it is a bit like that. I've got to be honest
Yeah.
with you. I'm not. For England friendlies are the worst things in the world. to be
Oh,
honest
the
with you.
worst. The worst.
I think
It's-
you got to just go.
This
to try and-
international break's come at a good time for Liverpool, though. I will say that.
Yeah, you
I'll
need time
take
to
this break
regroup.
for Liverpool.
Do you think Arsenal? Just quickly, do you think Arsenal go and win Champions League?
If they beat Real Madrid, I think they might.
Yeah.
I thought at the beginning of the season Arsenal had a very good shot at it this year.
I'd rather Aston Villa win it.
I'd love to see Villa.
I'd
win
love to see Villa win
That'd be
it.
weird, though, wouldn't it?
No,
Seeing-
why
I
they
mean,
won it
I
before?
would. Don't get me wrong. I'd rather Villa win it as well, but
I
it'd
think
be
their
strange.
attacking talent looks great. PSG, I think, look really good.
They are.
Luis Enrique's built a team there.
Mate, I've not seen a team play like that against Liverpool for a long time. They were
They were very good. Donnarumma was
So
great,
good.
wasn't he?
They were all great.
massive, wasn't he?
The left back was unbelievable.
Poor old Nunes.
Yeah.
I saw Carra this week talking about Liverpool. That he said, and actually we'll touch on that, right? Because I've seen everyone start digging Salah out again now because he doesn't do it in big games, things like that. I honestly, like, to be honest with you, that really fucking annoys me because I think the guy has been.
Incredible.
People have one, and that's the problem with social media and the world. You have one bad game, and it's like the world has ended. He's useless. Get rid of him. Wouldn't matter if we lost him. You know, like the guy has literally won the title pretty much single-handed this year.
No,
He's
he
been
has.
that good.
That's silly. No, he has.
Oh, he's been that
No,
good.
he has. No, he has.
Oh, he has.
He's been
He's been
amazing.
your
I'm not criticizing Salah. I love Salah, but he hasn't won a single-handedly.
Oh, I
Grapmate
don't
has
know.
been
He's
amazing.
been your best player. He's been your best player by a country mile.
But anyway,
Of course
so
he has. But
everyone's
he's been the best
jumped on it.
player
But
in Europe
Carra's,
by a country mile as well.
Carra's said about he actually blames the other forwards and he doesn't think they're good enough,
Yeah.
like Diaz.
No, they
and
don't
Nunes.
pick up the slack. If he has a bad game,
they'll go
that's-
this summer.
it's
Diaz
done.
and Nunes.
Even Gakpo.
Yeah.
I'd
You got to
I would
keep some of them,
I
and
would
you
keep
can't buy them all.
I would keep
No,
Gakpo.
I would keep Gakpo. I actually think he should have started yesterday. Diaz.
He's not fit. He's not fit though.
I-
Gakpo.
But
I'd
imagine,
take all
right, that's
even.
what I mean. Imagine winning the league, and then this kind of brings it back to where we're at,
Yeah,
and then saying you've got to rebuild that team.
yeah.
That's
it's
what
true.
they're going to do. That's what
Not
they're
because
gonna do.
they're young,
Liverpool-
not because they're old.
But even when you are a league-winning team, it's not you want to rebuild it. You want to just keep improving it.
Yeah.
It's like when
No,
Chelsea. It's like
but
when
they're going
Chelsea
to
won.
rebuild it. I'm telling you right now, if and I'm assuming we will win that league, we'll have probably at least 4 brand new players in our starting 11.
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't
first game
disagree.
of
I
the
think
season next
I think
year.
your
We'll have a new
Diaz,
left back. We'll have a new right
Nunes will
back,
go.
unless it's Bradley. We'll have a new forward. I
Well,
hope
listen.
Van
Worst
Dijk
case
doesn't
scenario
go.
this summer, you could be going after a new forward, a new centre back, and what
Right
I mean,
winger.
a new right back, a new right back.
Well, yeah, they need to sign a new right back no matter what. Even though Bradley, I think, will take up Trent's
He will, but I don't. He's a bit
mantle.
injury prone
But
at such a young age.
he's injury prone and he's young. So, but regardless of that, we still need a new right back because he was injured yesterday. Trent was injured yesterday, and we had to play Kwanzaa there. And I like Kwanzaa, but he isn't a right back.
He's not a right back.
Gomez is injured every other week, so he's
Isn't it
not
weird
really
that
an
Gomez
option.
has managed to stay at Liverpool this long?
He's good
Like,
though. When he's fit, he's good.
Yeah, but he's never
a good
fit.
player.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
He's probably on
fit
low
half of
wages
the
in
time.
comparison.
Yeah.
And that's probably
Yeah.
why he
Why they
stays there
keep him
as
around.
a backup, like here and there throughout the season. That must be why he
I think
stays
he's
there.
one of Josh's.
Yeah, but it's crazy how he's been there. It must have been there 8 years.
Longer, probably 10 years.
Yeah,
now.
longer. Yeah, I think he's there.
Been there a long time. Come for Charlton, didn't he?
Yeah.
But
He was a
so
good player.
I think Liverpool got a rebuild. City, we're going to see a bit of a rebuild. They just don't look at it at all.
They started their rebuild in January with some of their players. They bought.
Yeah.
That Marmoush looks a good player.
Looks good.
He's a good player.
I think you're going to see out of City, Grealish, De Bruyne,
Yeah.
Gundogan, Bernardo,
Yeah.
maybe. Carl
The keeper will
Walker,
go.
Yeah.
Ederson will go.
Edison will go.
Edison.
He'll go this
That's
summer.
6. That's 6 players out of that starting team that
Yeah.
goes, which is a lot.
They might have another rebuild season next year. We don't know. Like we don't know how they're going to come back.
The way
Yeah, listen, if you're
TSR
adding
works,
6
though,
players
I don't know how they could.
a team, then I would think they probably are having a rebuild season again next year.
Yeah, they could well be.
Man United, I don't think are going to be anywhere near.
No.
I think they'll be lucky to finish in the top 10 next year.
Yeah.
Because
Bruno saved them this year. If you take Bruno out of that team, I mean, can you imagine where they'd be? They could be like getting relegated.
Yeah.
no, I think the season's
Isn't that
longer,
nuts?
and it weren't as the bottom 3 weren't as bad. I think them and West Ham are very, very lucky this year.
I think West Ham will
yeah.
be fine, no Sam. I think they'll be okay.
I do hope so. Our problem with West Ham,
I like Potter.
I do,
He's all right.
and I've got to say after this week, I've got to be honest. I had a big rant on this at the weekend because I was. Do you know what? West Ham broke me this weekend.
You
It
could have
really
lost
did.
it in the last second then as well.
And we were 1-0 up. Like we got rid of David Moyes for a more expansive player playing the football. We now play a back 5 in the most defensive format with 0 strikers, 0 width,
yeah.
and now we're clinging on. We're 1-0 up and then go backs to the wall against Everton, who are also not a great side, right? And that just about sums that. Now, if Moyes did that at West Ham,
They'd
the
be mad.
fans were screaming. Well, when he did that, actually, was screaming for him to be out.
But
We
do you
are
not
still
think,
at that.
though, Sam, do you not think that Potter's come in? He's obviously had to deal with Moyes' team. So he's got the
Well,
players that he has.
Lopetegui's.
Whereas
Yeah, it was Lopetegui's
we
mess
give
that he came in.
we give Ruben
Well, and
Amorim.
Moyes'. People forget Moyes' last season at West Ham. We
Yeah.
were piss poor.
Yeah, you were. Well, you lost Declan Rice, and
Yeah.
it wasn't great.
And we
But
leaked
we
more
give
goals than anyone.
Amorim stick. We give Amorim stick for using a system that the players are not suited to, and obviously they're where they are. Whereas Potter seems to be using a system that the players are suited to get the best out of them. If he's
Well,
still
what he's
doing
done
that
is
in
he's
2
using a
years,
system-
then that's a problem.
He's using a system to stop us leaking goals because we're one of the leakiest teams in the,
Well, he's
in
using
the
a
league.
system that he's using the tools he's got, isn't he? Because he's
Completely
he's got
agree with
Moyes'
that.
team.
Like we're on, like if you look at us, we're on a minus 16 goal difference for the season, right? Manchester United, who are awful, are on -3. So it tells you where
Terrible.
we've been throughout the
Yeah,
season,
terrible.
right?
That's true.
And then you look at the bottom 3. I'm just looking at it now. Like Wolves are on a -18.
What's
that are
that?
worse than us.
It's Southampton have got 7 points.
9.
9.
Is it 9 points?
Do you want to know what Southampton's goal difference is?
Minus 50.
Minus 49, Leicester 40, Ipswich minus 34.
Can you imagine being a Southampton fan this year?
That
Oh,
is
God.
absolute.
You wouldn't even want to
pricing.
watch it. You literally wouldn't even want to watch it.
No.
So giving Potter his due, he's shorn up
Yeah.
the defence to make it less leaky because it was leaking goals left, right and centre. So
Yeah.
he's had to choose this. Basically, he's had to go 5 at the back. I can't even say it's a 3 at the back in an attacking formation. We're basically playing 5 people at the back. So it is so depressing to watch.
It's just mad.
I think he'll have a good summer, and I think next year.
Well,
will be better.
only if they get money. Like
only if they get money. Yeah.
Where's
But-
this
and
money
they
coming
can't
from?
even
We
sell
spent
Paqueta now.
135 million in last summer.
What's going on with Paqueta?
Apparently,
They're
this
trying
month,
to ban him for life, aren't they?
Yeah.
if convicted, he'll get banned for life. Yeah, I think
I reckon he'll get banned and then they'll appeal it and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
but
he has been absolutely dreadful this year.
Wouldn't you if you had your career hanging over your head?
Maybe I don't know. I'll make the
At
most
what
of it.
point are you going to be? I can see why he's gone off the board. The guy probably wakes up every morning and thinks, "Is this my last week in football?"
Kudos has been awful, like
Right.
awful.
Yeah.
But again, he's a winger or a number 10. He's playing up front now,
Yeah.
so he's not a striker. Bowen's not a striker. Without Bowen, and I'm going to say one that also the West Ham fans give a lot of stick to, but Souček, we would be in so much shit.
yeah.
The Areola, we got this. We've now. It's where I say stupid tactics. We now play out from the back with a keeper that cannot pass the ball. He cannot. He's useless. I think he gives the ball away about 70% of the time. And then we do this intricate play of giving it to centre half, who gives it back to Mavropanos.
I would still take
who
him
then
over.
hoofs it, and you go, "What's the fucking point in that?"
I would still take him over Sanchez.
No, Areola is an amazing shot stopper. Amazing.
Yeah.
Just get a formation where he doesn't pass it out.
Yeah.
It's quite easy. Get him to kick it out.
Yeah.
Like,
I just hate Sanchez. So.
But I mean, if they're playing 5 at the back and they kick it out, then they're outnumbered straight away, aren't they? They're not
that's
gonna
the
win
problem.
ball.
Like, honestly, it is the most boring thing to watch now. It has been for 2 years now, though. Like, it's like a West Ham. There's nothing, and we were on a good trajectory with more. And I look at this and I think we have got what we wished for because we let go of Moyes. I know Moyes. He tailed off massively in the last season. And what I will say is what Moyes never gets the credit for is that we played. People have said, well, Villa have tailed off this year because they got Champions League. We played 3 years of going into
European.
the later stages of Europe with the same 11 players for 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
So obviously there was a knockoff. Then we sold Declan Rice, which was the big knockoff.
Yeah.
I don't think people, and I think that's the difference. If we'd have maybe let Moyes buy his players, we might have seen a different West Ham.
But didn't
I
that
think we've
German
got
come
players.
in and put
Yeah,
the
Tim
kibosh on
Steiner.
that?
Well, no, that was kind of just a bit before, but I think you don't never know West Ham if it's Sullivan making. The big criticism of Moyes was he never made a decision on a player. And we bought in Danny Ings, like there's a gift for you,
Yeah.
Danny Ings.
But you know what,
He doesn't
though,
fit
mate?
in the system.
I find it hard to criticize your ownership, even though, I mean, I don't really know much about them, because your fans are a fucking nightmare. They're a nightmare. They do nothing but complain.
I think, Tone, if you've been a fan of West Ham for 40 odd years like me, and you've never seen them challenge for anything other than that one European trophy, never, then you go, why haven't we? Why has Bournemouth progressed? Why has
Because
Brighton
there's-
progressed? Why has Brentford progressed?
Yeah, fair enough.
Why
Yeah,
has Newcastle progressed? Villa, you got to remember, when Emery took over, they were in the relegation zone,
Yeah, they were
right?
in
But-
So their
but do you
fans
not
are seeing a
think, though,
progression.
Sam, do you
Pardon?
not think that the reason why the likes of Brighton and Bournemouth and even Villa to a certain extent, because they were, they got relegated not that long ago, the expectations of their fans had hit almost rock bottom, and when they got promoted or when they started, to come up, they were happy with the project. That took a little bit of time, whereas West Ham fans don't seem to be.
Well, I
They
think the
seem to want it
difference is
tomorrow.
as well, right? I think we got lucky with Moyes, let's just say, right? Because ultimately, West Ham fans, and no football fans wants to watch boring defensive football. I think that's kind of, right? Yes, does it get results? Yeah, but I think you want to go and be entertained by a project. And I think what we always get, and I think we got lucky with Moyes with that, we got another yes man that would do stuff that he'd work on, he'd listen to the rubbish and things like that and get going. And he got the best out of a group of players that weren't actually good enough. And when I look at Antonio, people like that, he's turned him into a striker. So I think it was kind of the perfect blend. And with our owners and with them, I think that needs to kind of work. But I think that's where we're looking. I think West Ham fans, what would we like to see? I think if you asked 100% of West Ham fans, if we're not going to be challenging, if we're going to win, lose, draw, as it goes on, I think we'd rather see a bit of homegrown talent.
And some effort.
And actually see a pathway for some kids, which we've seen Ollie Scholes, and he dropped him again this week, and he's been one of our better players. I would much rather see, like James Ward-Prowse, for example, right? He's been brought back from Nottingham Forest. James Ward-Prowse isn't great anymore.
At least he tries.
But exactly that, right? He's come back in and he's
100%.
tried, and it looks like a masterclass because he runs around, right? So him and Souček run around.
He does the basics, essentially.
Now, would I rather see a Lewis Orford, like as a kid there, instead of Paqueta, running around right now? Yeah. Would I rather see a young striker? And what West Ham fans will do is they will give that player time. And West Ham, in actual fact, we're a bit not that smart because the fans actually only want to see effort. So you could then go ahead and get the fans on side with a bit more entertaining, go a bit more for it, put a few kids in the team, and then say, if Potter come out and said, you know what, we're going to blood some kids in the team because this ain't working, we're going to see, but we don't think we've got the best crop of kids at the moment, so you're going to have to bear with us a bit. I think West Ham fans will go, God, Blinder, we're going to get to see a kid who used to support George Murphy, Freddie Potts, his dad Steve Potts. Like, people, I think, would actually be on board with that kind of project rather than watch us lose with a load of overpaid players who clearly don't care.
What do you think about Ferguson?
He hasn't been given a go.
No? Is
Not played.
he not?
Come on for 1 minute yesterday.
Is he being fit, Sam?
Yep.
Bizarre.
I think he's never started a game for us.
That's strange. You need
because he plays Bowen and Kudos up top.
Strange.
And Kudos has been awful.
Yeah.
And Paqueta has been awful.
So, I mean, Ferguson must be dog shit in training to not get a chance.
Maybe, and that's what I mean. So, and then
'Cause it's not like
Mavropanos, they keep
it's
putting
not
him
like
back
Potter
in.
doesn't know.
You have a hate for Mavropanos like I do for Sanchez.
Oh, he's fucking awful, honestly.
It's-
Them
I'm
two
telling you.
in the back line would be the funniest thing
you
in the
imagine?
Premiership. They should go and play for Ipswich or Southampton.
They're not even Premiership standard.
Try and go for -100 for a year.
They're not even Premiership standard. Those two, honestly, I can't bear that goalkeeper anymore. I fucking hate him so much.
Well, on that positive note, we're going to finish it up.
yeah.
Well, that was a nice whinge and rant to start the week.
Literally.
If you're listening, I hope you haven't drove your car off a cliff or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're a
nice
Liverpool
positive
fan,
start
because we're
from us
going to
on
win the
Monday
league,
morning.
so who gives a shit?
Liverpool fans, obviously, they've probably drove their cars off the cliffs.
Mate,
Newcastle fans might have because they're still
Liverpool fans
pissed.
are driving their car right to the Premier League trophy. No problem.
Who we got this week? Is it in national break this week?
Yeah.
It is this week.
Yeah, great.
What day?
Liverpool's next game is April 2nd. Do you know who it is?
Merseyside derby.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
Super David Moyes.
Big day.
It's at
Big day.
Anfield this time now, so I don't think we'll have a problem. But yeah.
Famous last words there, Tony.
Yeah, exactly. I get
If you lose that, Arsenal play again before you. If you lose that and they win again, Arsenal are 6 points behind you and they still got to go to Anfield.
Yeah. And if my auntie was my uncle, I'd be a granddad.
No, Arsenal will end up bringing this back, right? And they'll lose it by 3 points.
Yeah.
So, to give them hope for
I'll
next
be honest
season.
with you, right? I'll be honest with you. I'm a tiny bit nervous about it. And the reason is, I don't think these players have got the mentality. Every big game they have, they seem to shit the bed.
Well, don't worry, you got the best centre back in the world. So yeah,
Well, we do. We've got the best centre back in the world. We've got the best goalkeeper in the world.
Gomez.
But-
Yeah.
No, not Gomez. No, Van Dijk. No, we'll be okay, but I think it's going to be closer than people think. I do.
I think it will as well. I think it will.
Top four, I've got to give a big shout out to Forest. They're my only. I like Forest. Got to say, seeing them, I'd love to see them qualify for the Champions League. I've got two mates, Ben and Birdie, big Nottingham Forest fans. I'd love to see Forest.
Imagine Forest get top four and Villa win the European Cup. How
Midlands,
mad would
Midlands will be on
do
fire.
you know what? I saw it earlier. Do you know 10 teams can qualify for Europe in the Premier League if it all went
No,
right this year?
no,
Yeah, they
it's
can.
seven.
If they've no, it's
seven.
not. I just
How could
listened
be
to it
10?
because if where they finish in league positions, if now Newcastle have won the cup, if they then qualify for Champions League, then that position would go to someone else.
Then Liverpool win it, qualify, and then but we've already won the league, so we're already there.
What? What are you going on?
So you're saying if Newcastle
I just watched it literally, and then if Tottenham win the Europa, they go to the Champions League, or Manchester United, depending on where they finish. Yeah, they do. They go to Champions League.
If you win Europa, you get an automatic.
They
place
go
in
to
the
the
Champions
Europa
League.
Oh,
League.
sorry, no. But
So then the
you're talking
Europa
about
place goes down another place. So if everything went perfect within the league, like if everyone finished in certain positions, we could get
I think
10.
it's 7. I don't think
It's not.
10.
It's 10. I just watched it. I literally just watched it from a European expert.
All right, I need you to explain it to me then, because this makes
I'll explain.
Do you know what? I was actually going to save the clip because I knew we were going to go there.
I can tell you, Tone. So let's say you get. So let's say the current top four finish in their positions. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that's the top four. Let's say then get another bonus spot. So that's 5 in the Champions League. Let's say Tottenham finish 12th and win the Europa League. That's a 6th team in the Champions League. Newcastle are already the 7th team in it. If Brighton finish 6th in the Premier League,
why are
they're in it.
Newcastle
That's
already
8.
the 7th team?
Because they won the Carabao Cup.
They've won the
They're
Carabao
in
Cup.
Europe.
Champions League for the Carabao.
We're not saying in Europe. We're not talking about 10 teams in the Champions League. We're talking about qualifying for Europe, whether it's across
No,
the
he
Champions
said
League,
Champions
Europa.
League.
He
No,
didn't.
no,
He said
no.
Europe.
I said Europe.
He said
European
Europe.
places.
Yeah, fucking hell. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about that. You said Champions League.
No, he didn't. He
I
said
know
Europe.
you did.
Rewind it back, Amrit. Rewind it back.
We got it on
You
places.
said
tape.
Champions League.
He didn't. He said European places.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah, the 10
we get
teams in
fucking
England
10
can
teams
qualify.
every year in European places now.
No, it's not.
No, it's about
not.
6
8.
It's
or
like
7.
what,
Yeah.
8 or 9?
6 or 7.
But there are 17. There is a possibility for 7 teams, English teams, to qualify for the Champions League next year.
No, there's only 5.
No,
There's
plus
5
then
automatic
Spurs
places.
or Man United.
Oh yeah,
And then
5 plus
Spurs or Man United.
Yeah, plus
6.
So 6.
Yeah.
It could be 6. Could be 6.
I think it's 7. I think there's a possibility for 7. But anyway, 6 or 7. Who gives a shit? Whatever.
Yeah,
See you
exactly.
later.
Right.
all the very.
Goodbye.
Good to see you. Have a good day.